All right, here it is, the new DeWALT compressor. It's supposed to run at less than 70 decibels. My other compressor was having a hard time keeping up with air tools. I've had it since 2007. It's just a little husky 12 gallon, I think. So we're gonna get this thing loaded up, get it home, unloaded, set up, and let's run some tests on this thing. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, we're back home. We got the DeWALT 26 gallon compressor here. We're gonna unbox it, get it set up, and give it a test. So let's see what this thing looks like. Get to the good stuff. Nobody wants to see unboxing. I want to hear this thing work and see how it performs. All right, it's a 17 and a 14. Wheels go on super easy. 14 on the inside, 17 on the outside. Okay, so here it is, all assembled. Takes 5 minutes to put together. All you're doing is putting the wheels on, the rubber on, and then you're putting an air filter on each side of the motor here. So pretty easy to put together. I'm gonna go ahead and get it plugged in, but before I do, let me just run you through a quick few features on why I bought this. It is 2 horsepower. It runs off 120 volts. It's a 26 gallon tank, which that was my little guy I was using over there before. Had that since 07. It still comes on and works. It's not doing its job correctly anymore. But this was the selling point, 65 decibel sound level. So I'm gonna do a quick sound comparison once I get this filled up. I'm also gonna time it to see how long from completely empty to all the way full. I'll set up an iPad so we can get a runtime on that, and then we're gonna do a sound comparison with that little guy right there. So before I go ahead and kick this thing on and do a run test, let me tell you one of the things that honestly made me almost not buy this DeWALT compressor and go to Harbor Freight. Get one that was a little cheaper. It's a little louder. It's about 17 decibels louder. However, it had two air chucks on it, or 2 air outlets, right? So I really thought that was cool. That was a feature I kind of really wanted. Unfortunately, the Harbor Freight that was by my house, the closest one was like 70 miles away that had the compressor I wanted. So I didn't feel like driving. I didn't feel like waiting since I need to use this right now. So we're just gonna go back to the one. That one only had one on it. I had it for years. It wasn't always my favorite thing, but it worked. So let's get it fired up. Okay, let's get this thing turned on and see how long it takes to fill up. So let's go ahead and start the timer and turn it on. Wow. So about 9 minutes for this thing to get all the way to 175 PSI. That seems like an exceptionally long time to me. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm no compressor guru by any means, but 9 minutes seems like a long time. It's only 26 gallons. Looks like it has a big beefy motor on it. Why does it take that long? I don't know. But now the next test we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and see how long are we gonna be able to run some air tools. So I have a couple pieces of tube for a little welding project. I'm gonna grab a few of these and just stand right here so we can get a close look at the PSI gauge. I'll clean them up and we'll see how long we can actually run an air tool before it kicks back on. Okay, so I have my little sander hooked up here, little air sander. I'm gonna go ahead and clean some pieces for this project that I'm gonna be working on to practice for the mini roll cage. If you guys don't know that I'm building the Mini Cooper, go check it out. It's gonna be a really cool series. I get it back from the motor builder next week, and the roll cage should be here a couple weeks after, so it's gonna be pretty good. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. I'm gonna start the timer, go to town on this, and let's see how much runtime we get before this thing kicks on. Line pressure set at about 80 PSI, so let's go ahead and start the timer. So we got about 43 seconds of runtime before the compressor kicked back on. I went from 175 PSI down to 120 when it kicked back on, maybe 130. So as it's running, I'm gonna go ahead and see if this little guy is gonna just drain the tank or if this machine can actually keep up. Let's do it. So I'm gonna reset and then we're gonna start. So it's been about a minute and a half of continuous use and I can hear this is starting to die down. I do have the line pressure set at about 80 and I'm right at about 80 on the tank pressure. So let's keep going and see what it does. So it's dying out. I'm at about less than 3 minutes of use. And at this point I'd have to wait to really keep going on sanding this. I'm not super stoked. In my opinion, I think I could have probably found one that's a little better. I honestly don't know. This is just a my opinion video trying to give you guys some real world application on this thing. I bought this with my own money. I mean, it's not a sponsored video or anything ridiculous like that. So this is how I would really use the video, or really use a compressor like this. It says it's running at 4 SCFM. This thing says it only uses 3. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to crank the line pressure down just a bit. I don't know that I need to be running it that high. So why don't we just bump it down to 60? And I mean, that's not enough. I mean, that's really where it needs to run. That's really where it wants to run, is between 75 and 95 to really make this tool work good. So it's definitely a bummer that you don't get very much runtime out of this thing. So anyways, I don't need to keep cleaning these up on camera. You guys can hear it. I'm standing right next to it talking. I don't feel like I'm shouting, but then again, I'm a loud talker anyway, so I'm not gonna keep cleaning these up. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna shut this thing down. I'm gonna plug in the old compressor and give you guys a sound comparison. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we go. I have the little Craftsman here. We're gonna go ahead and kick it on. You guys just heard this one running. Now try to remember what that looked like. We're gonna go ahead and turn this thing on. Pretty big difference in sound, I would say. I mean, as far as quiet wise, if I was just judging this DeWALT off how quiet it is, yeah, I mean, I think it's relatively quiet for sure. But I mean, all in all, I'm slightly disappointed that it's not really performing at the level that I hoped it was going to. So let's go ahead and hear the DeWALT again. Pretty quiet. Let's run them both. Pretty big difference there. I definitely thought I would get more runtime out of it than what I am currently getting. I mean, it looks great. It seems like a nice compressor. Again, I just was hoping I was going to get a lot more runtime. So from empty to full, it takes about 9 minutes to get filled up. I can already feel it's getting a little bit warm. Seems like it takes a long time to me. Overall, I mean, I'm probably just going to keep it. I don't feel like returning it and going through the hassle, so it's going to work well enough for my needs, although I wish I could run an air tool continuously. I feel like a 26-gallon tank and a 2-horsepower motor should be able to do that. Let me know. Maybe I'm crazy and you don't get that kind of runtime until you get an actual big boy compressor. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment. Like and subscribe. The Mini's coming home next week with the full motor build. We're going to start on the cage and all the fab work, so stay tuned for that. We'll catch you guys on the next one.